let me record so they can have it later. Before we start class today, I wanted to let you know that next week is probably going to be the last class because I talked about this 2 weeks ago. எனக்கு வந்து நெக்ஸ்ட் வீக்ல இருந்து டேலைட் சேவிங்ஸ் ஒன்று இருக்கு. அப்படின்னா வந்து எனக்கு 1 hour வந்து பிஹைண்ட் போகும். ஒரு சில ஹேர் எனக்கு வந்து இப்போ எனக்கு வந்து என்னன்னா வந்து 10:30 ஆகுது or 10:40. Next week it's going to be 11:40 for me. Okay, so then I have to wake up until like 2 in the morning to do my classes because I have another class after this. And I also have exams. That's kind of end of the year exams. So I won't be able to do it so next week, there's going to be class next week. But the week after that, I don't think there's going to be any class. So next week is going to be the last class I'm going to have. So we're going to try to wrap up as much content we can in these 2 weeks. But I wanted to let you guys know the beginning of the class so you remember. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So in the week before that, we were talking about tea, American tea. Let's see. So we were talking about the American tea. We didn't get too far. We only talked about tea when it's surrounded by 2 vowels. So what I mean by that is like in the first word, let's see. Let me get my laser. So in the first word right here, the T is surrounded by U and E, which are 2 vowels. So when the T is surrounded by 2 vowels, it's going to make a D sound. That's why we learned computer. Same thing with water, ability, heater, better, university. I also talked about how Y is like a vowel. Y can act like a vowel and a consonant. But in this case, in the word university, Y is acting like a vowel. That's why the T is pronounced like a D. It's not university, it's university. The same thing with matter. Matter. The T is surrounded by the A, which is a vowel, and E, which is a vowel. So the T, or I guess 2 T's, because matter, there's 2 T's which are surrounded by vowels, is going to make a D sound. Matter, right? Okay, I went through that fast because we already talked about that last week. I didn't want to waste any time. Next one is also continuing the D, but this time it's so when T is around an L or an R, it's going to also make that D sound like when we talked about vowels. So for example, the word bottle, bottle, bottle. So bottle is surrounded by L and an O, but since there's an L after that T right here, B-O-T-T-L-E, the 2 T's are going to make a D sound because there's an L after the T's. Bottle. Can everyone repeat that? Bottle.
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 Correct. The same thing with battle. Literally, there's only 1 word letter difference, right? Bottle has an O, battle has an A, but it's pronounced the same way. Battle, because there's an L after the T. Battle. Can everyone repeat that? Battle.
Battle.
Correct. Battle. Yes.
Battle.
Yeah. So the next one is dirty. Dirty. But this time it's different. The T has a R before it. Do you see that R? The T has an R before it. So you're going to pronounce that T as a D. Dirty. That's dirty. Dirty. Can you guys all say it? Dirty.
Dirty.
Yes, dirty. The next one, I actually only have a few examples with this, but it happens almost with all the numbers. 40. 40. Can you guys say that? 40.
40.
Yes, 40. Because 40 has a R before the T, right? 40. Same thing with 30. 30. Can you guys say that? 30.
30.
30. So basically you would say the same thing for 41, 42, 43, 31, 32, 33, right? Because the 40 and 30 before the T, there's an R. And because of that, you have to make that D sound. Instead of the T sound, you make the D sound. 40, 30. Okay, next one. Oh, not too far. Okay, so this is when we silent the T. So sometimes some words have a N after the T. Or the T, sorry, the T is after an N, so the N is before the T. So when that happens, you silent the T. For example, the word interview, that's how you would usually say it, interview. But we don't say it as interview, we say it as interview, interview, interview. Can you guys all say that? Interview,
Interview.
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 Yes, so if I were to say, I have an interview at 3 p.m. I have an interview at 3 p.m. I don't say interview, I say interview, interview. Same thing with interface, interface. It's not interface, it's interface, interface. The next one, it's not internet, it's internet, internet, internet. Can you guys say that? Internet,
Internet.
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 The next one is interrupt, interrupt. The T is not pronounced, it's just interrupt, interrupt. The next one is, let's see, Adil, could you pronounce the next one? Or Rijo, could you pronounce the next one?
Okay. Interactive.
Yes, interactive, interactive. The T is silent because it comes after an N. Sarah, could you do the next one? Okay,
Yeah, let me write.
okay, cool. Read that one.
International.
Yes, international. The T is not pronounced, so you just pretend it, you just say N-E-R, international, international. So like you could say the international airport, international airport. I went to the international airport to get to America, something like that. The next one is 20, 20. Just like how we learned with 40, 30, this is 20. You don't pronounce the T, you say 20, 20, 20. So before, for 30 and 40, you pronounce that as D, 30, 40. But for this one, 20 has a N, there's a T after the N, so you don't pronounce the T, you would just say 20. The next one is printout, printout. You don't say print out, you would say printout, printout. Can you guys say that? Printout,
Printout.
Printout.
printout. So I would say, I need to get a printout. So I would like put a paper in my printer to get a printout. The next one, winner, winner, winner. This one is a weird one because how would you say WINNER? What's the difference? Winner, winner. So this is one of those weird ones. If you say winter, because I actually do say winter, I don't say winter, but some people do say winter. But if you say winter, that's fine. You can understand it. But if you notice some people say winter, it's because of that weird rule in American accent. So you would say winter or winter, and they both are the same pronunciation. But I usually do say winter because I do think it's a little confusing to say, because in the word WINNER, you can say, oh, I'm a winner. You're a winner. But some people also say WINTER as winner. But I personally say it as a winter. But they both are right. But it's just that if you hear people say it as winner, that's also, I guess, is correct, because in American accent, people do that. The next one is enter. Enter. Enter the contest. Enter the room. You would say enter because the T is after the N. The next one is similar to printout because they come from the same origin. Printer. Or you can, sorry, printer. 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 Because the T is coming after the N. So some people might say it as printer, but the real rule is printer. Most people say it as printer. Printer. The next one is wanted. Wanted. Can everyone say that? Wanted.
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 So you could, let's see, I'm trying to think of a sentence. He was a wanted criminal. He was a wanted criminal. So you would see, like, in those big posters that they post up, you would have wanted in like all caps. Wanted. Wanted. There are a lot of T rules. The next one is also the silent T, but unlike the previous one, when the T comes after the N, this one is when you have like ain. So basically how this would work is, okay, how would you pronounce, Rijo, how would you pronounce this word right here?
Mountain.
So yes, so I think some people might pronounce it as mountain. I guess that's how you would say it in an Indian accent, mountain. But in an American accent, you would say it as mountain. So the T becomes silent and you would replace it with the N. Mountain. The TAIN, all of that turns into N. Mountain. Same thing with fountain. Can everyone say that? Fountain. Fountain.
Fountain.
Fountain. Yes.
Fountain.
Yeah. So that TAIN, it's just like completely gone and it's replaced with an N. Fountain. 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 But above I kind of wrote like a guidance with the silent T asterisk. What that means is that you kind of would say it as fountain. 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 You can replace that with the N sound, or to help you better, you might say N. Fountain. Fountain. Curtain. 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 Can you guys say that? Curtain.
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 Oops, sorry. Curtain. Oh. The next one is forgotten. Forgotten. Can you guys say that? Forgotten.
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 Correct. That T becomes silent. You don't hear that T. It's kind of there, but it's not there. You don't pronounce it as forgotten. You don't say forgotten. You have to say, you cannot pronounce a T. You would say it as forgotten. Forgotten. Or you could say like that movie was forgotten. Okay. Or I could say, what else could I say? The phone was forgotten or something like that. The next one is similar to forgotten. It's said as written. written. Can you guys say that? Written.
Written.
Yes, written.
Written.
Yes. The next one is a weird one. You would say this as sentence. Sentence. The T is not pronounced. It's sentence. Can you guys all say that? Sentence.
Sentence.
Yes. So this one, is this the last T rule? Yeah, it's the last T rule. So this one is like, when you have T at the end, it's like a hard stop. When you have it at the end, it's a hard stop. What I mean by this is you don't press on the T. Like, let me explain. So for the word HATE, you would say it as hat. Hat. You don't say hat. You would say it as hat. Can you guys say that? Hat.
Hat.
And the next one is mat. Can you guys say that? Mat.
Mat.
Yes. And hot.
Hot.
Yes. Hot.
Hot.
Yeah. So you guys kind of get the general idea. It's got. Lot. Can you guys say that? Lot.
Lot.
Yes. And then rat.
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 Rat. The
Rat.
next one is cat.
Cat.
Cat. So do you see how you don't say cat? You just say cat. You don't say
Cat.
rat. You say rat. Rat. You don't pronounce the T. You pronounce the T, but the T is not like t. You just go rat. So basically this is what I like to say. When your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, you stop. Rat. Cat. My tongue touches when I say cat, and then I stop. The next one is want. Can you guys say that? Want.
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 Rat.
Yes. So yeah. So basically, the general idea is when you say these, when you have T and it's at the end of a word, when your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, you stop. Like hat, mat, hot, hot, got, lot, rat, cat, want. So I think those are all the general T rules. I'm not sure if there's actually more, but those are the basic ones. Okay, I think this is my favorite one, the American R. So I would say this American R might be hard for non-native speakers because it is very different, because Americans pronounce their R's strongly. So there's different R sounds, like the British R is different than the American R. There's probably an Indian R too, which are all different, but this is the American accent training. So we're learning the American R. So before we do this, I want you guys to do something. To pronounce the R sound, you would take your tongue and you would roll it. So basically, you take your tongue and you would roll it. So when you roll your tongue, your tongue is barely touching the roof of your mouth. It's barely touching it. So when you roll it, you can roll it too much. You can roll your tongue too much, or you can roll it too little. If you roll it too little, it would sound like you don't go too far. It's kind of funny, but I'm trying to explain it to you. If you go too far, if you roll your tongue too far, you're blocking air. So then you can't pronounce the R sound. You're barely touching the roof of your tongue, and you go So that's the R sound. If you go too far, like I said, you would go you can't make a proper noise. That doesn't sound right because you're blocking your air. If you don't go far enough, if you don't roll your tongue far enough, and then it would sound something like It kind of sounds like an E sound more than an R sound. You have to roll just enough you're about to touch the roof of your mouth, but you're not. R. That's the American R sound. That's the general idea of an American R. The first one is words that end with the R sound. For example, fire, fire. Can you guys say that? Fire.
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 Yes, it has the ER sound, fire. Next one is deer. Can you guys say that? Oops, deer. That one.
Deer.
Yeah, deer.
Deer.
That's war. War.
War.
War.
War.
Yes. And the next one is actor.
Actor.
Act.
Yes, actor. The act and the you have the sound. Actor. And then you have after. After. Can you guys say that? After.
After.
And the next two ones actually follow your T rules, but they also have the R rule. So the next one, the T's are surrounded by the A and the E. So that means it's going to make a D sound. But it also has an R at the end. So you would say this as matter.
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 Next one is better. Better. Better.
Better.
Better.
I feel better. Does it even matter? So that's how you would say that. When you have R at the end of a word, you would say it as kind of like ER. It makes an ER sound. That one, when R's are at the end of a word, it's kind of hard for people to pronounce. The next one is when R is at the beginning of a word. I think this is actually easier to say. So what you would do is, I'm going to over exaggerate this. Rest, 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 rest. Can you guys say that? Rest,
Rest.
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 So when you say this, you're rolling your tongue again. You're rolling your tongue and you go rest. Rude, rude, rude,
Rude.
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 So when I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna over exaggerate it this time. Rude, rude, rude. So you're rolling your tongue and you're saying rude, but it's just rude, rude. Can you guys say that? Rude.
Rude.
Yes. The next one is react, react, react,
React.
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 Yeah, so that's correct because you have the T at the end, right? You have T at the end, so you don't go react. You more often when you're speaking fast, you'd go react. Did you react to that? You might say, did you react to that? Did you react to that? So when you say that, you would not pronounce a T. The next one is rate, rate, rate,
Rate.
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 And here's the thing, this one, remember when I said, oh, we have 10 more minutes, we're gonna have to come back. When the meeting ends, rejoin. Oh, hi, Sherman and Kevin. So I'm just saying when the meeting's gonna end in like 10 minutes, but I want you guys to rejoin.
Okay, Auntie.
Okay. So, yeah, we were at the word rate. So remember when we were talking about T, when T is surrounded by the vowels, it's not pronounced, it's kind of pronounced as D, rate, rate, rate. Next one is risk, risk. Can you guys say that? Risk,
Risk.
Risk.
risk, risk. Next one is rotten, rotten, rotten,
Rotten.
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 Yeah, so remember, this one was that and the silent T rule. Remember when I said like fountain, mountain, forgotten. It's the same thing, rotten. You don't pronounce the T, you would go rotten. You don't.
Rotten.
So replace the TTEN with just like an N sound. Rotten. Rotten. And the next one is room. Room. Room.
Room.
Room.
Room.
Room.
Room.
Room.
Room.
So Sherwin and Kevin, I think you missed this part, but what we're saying is that we're learning the American R sound. When you're doing American R sound, you need to roll your tongue. You need to roll your tongue back when you make the R, R, R. If you go too far back, it's not gonna sound right. It's gonna sound like It's like blocking the air from your mouth. You still want the air to flow. So when you roll your tongue, you don't want you want your tongue to barely touch the roof of your mouth. So it's R, R.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yes. So that's how we're making the R sound. The next one is when R is in the middle. When R is in the middle, you would say horses. Horses. Can you guys say that? Horses.
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 Horse.
Yes.
Horse.
Perfect.
Horse.
Yes. The next one. This one has both our R rules. Career. Career.
Career.
Career.
Yes. Career. The next one. This also has two of our R rules. It has our R rule when R is in the beginning, and it has the R rule when R is in the middle. So you would say this as Riri. 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 Can you guys say that? Riri.
Riri.
Riri. Yes. And the next one also has their T rule. It has their T rule, and this would be dirty. Dirty. Can you guys say that?
Dirty.
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 Yes.
Dirty.
Because this
Dirty.
you have the R rule, which is R is in the middle of the word, and it's also before a T. What do you do when R is before a T? T as a D. So you would say this is 30. The next one is sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Right? Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. The next one is morning. Morning.
Morning.
Morning.
Yes. Morning. The next one is arm.
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 Yes. Arm. Okay. Then there's another time when R is at the end of, when R is the last sound before the last letter. This is kind of very wordy, but basically what I'm trying to say is when R is the second to the last letter. For example, in the word card. Card. Can you guys say that? Card.
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 Card. Card. You have a
Car.
hard stop. So that D has a hard stop. You go card. 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 Right?
Bird.
Yeah. And you also have bird. Bird.
Bird.
Bird.
Bird.
And then you have flirt. Flirt. Flirt.
Flirt. Flirt.
Flirt. And then you have arc. Arc.
Arm.
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 Yes. So arc is also making that middle sound, but basically when you have R before the last letter, you make it a you pronounce that last letter strongly. Arc. Arc.
Arm.
Arc. Yeah, and then you have
Arc.
yard. Yard.
Yard.
Yard. Yard. Okay. The next one, it follows our rule when beginning. You have to like elongated. You have to pronounce R for a long period of time. You would go regard, 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 regard,
Regard.
regard,
Regard.
regard, regard. And the last one is basically the same thing. It's kind of pronounced the same as regard. You just say guard, guard, guard.
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 The guard was guarding the house, or the guard was guarding the building. Guard, guard,
Guard.
yeah, guard. So this is R is the sound when this is a scenario when R is the sound after the first letter. So R is the second letter in the word. Train, train, train,
Rain.
train,
Train.
Rain.
train. Yes, train. Next one is priest, priest,
Priest.
Priest.
priest,
Priest.
Priest.
priest. And then you would say cross, cross,
Cross.
Cross.
cross,
Cross.
cross. Yes. And then you would say Christ, Christ,
First.
Christ,
Christ.
Christ. Because it's R is after the second C. So the general idea is when you have the letter R, you would make the R sound. I'm just breaking it into different categories so you guys can understand it better. So in the general, in the R sound, R and the sound that make panno, but I'm in the different break pandra to just show you guys more examples, right? The next one is breeze, breeze, breeze.
Breeze.
I could say like it's kind of chilly tonight, but the weather is a good breeze. It feels really nice. It's a good breeze. Breeze. The next one is crest. Crest.
Crest.
Crest.
Crest. Crest. The next one is dress. Dress.
Crest.
Dress.
Dress. Dress. Okay. So we have only a minute left and I want to show you guys a video. I'm going to stop share right here and I want you guys to rejoin the call. Okay. And we're going to
Okay.
the last 15 minutes of class. Okay. So I'm going to end the call, rejoin it.